everyone. Welcome back to RTS and welcome back to our SOS series video number 3. Yes, and so if you want to know more about what is the SOS series, sampling of supplies, what does it mean, why do we need it, and why it's helpful, definitely look into video number 1. In the beginning, there's an intro, talks a little bit more about that. So up for today in our SOS series video number 3, we're going to be talking about 2 manufacturers, Authentique and KaiserCraft, and then also 2 8 collections. And I'm also going to show a few different ways to how to approach this way of shopping. Now, I've been talking a lot with my subscribers, and I will tell you that I provide content in a video form, but if you want to learn more, definitely read the comments. My subscribers, they're very knowledgeable and they talk about a lot of things. So yes, you can get more information sometimes in the comment section, so definitely do not overlook that. One thing I wanted to bring up when you are making these type of kits or any type of kit, as you built that kit and maybe you packed it away and it's still in your memory bank, and as you're pulling out supplies for another page or another layout, if you run across something and it makes you think of that kit, which is what happened to me today as I've been pulling supplies for this SOS video. I ran across some papers. I'm like, oh, that would look good in that kit. That would look good in that pirate's tale. Oh, this would look good in this. This would look good in that. So you just put them to the side. When you get that kit out, then you put them in that kit. That's what I do, because I always see papers. I'm like, that would look pretty with that. So why not put them with something that they'll go with rather than just in your paper stash. Absolutely. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to talk about, and we're going to talk about Authentique first, this beautiful piece of paper. Yes, more floral, but something we're going to do different. A few collections we're going to approach a little differently. And so I've been telling my subscribers that I've been shopping this way for a few years. In my case, it was because I was out of space for paper and I wanted the new things, but yet I didn't have space for all these collections keep coming in. Excuse me. So I would just basically get one piece of paper at a time, and for sometimes I'll just keep that group of paper, that new piece of paper, what I'm going to have 33 collections or a sticker sheet or something. I would just simply keep that group of new papers that came from a variety of collections. I'll just keep them in a special section, basically in my new section in my space, and then that I just know to go to that if I want something new to play with. So you can do it that way too. You do not have to build a kit just when you get a new piece of paper, but I've done it both ways. I know people like to see building kits, and I know when I first got into building kits, I watched everything I could do about building kits, and when they would show them on 2Ps, I would rewatch them. Sometimes I would rewatch them 3 times until I started learning this concept of building kits with no photos in mind. So if it's a little bit of a struggle right now building a kit and you just can't think, well, I don't have any photos, it will all come, honestly. So keep that in the back of your mind. And so you do not have to make kits when you get something like this. Just take all those papers, put them in a little pile, put them in a special place in your space, and then just use them every so often. When you want that new feeling, you want to go shop, but you want to save some money, reach for that special category of the new things in your space. Okay, so up for today, Authentique 4 collections. And of course, Authentique, I love them, but sometimes they aggravate me. And I'll tell you why. I got 2 things why they aggravate me. Okay, you love them, but you know, yes. I've even emailed them a couple of times and they've tried to explain it, but it is what it is. Okay, so the first one up is Poised. Very, very beautiful color scheme. And of course, what is it? It's basically yellow and black and gray and cream, and I love yellow. So this I wanted this collection. I'll just be honest, I wanted them all. That's probably why I bought a piece of all of them, you know. But I knew at one time that Authentique came out with this same exact color scheme. And so when you have that representation of a piece of paper like this and it makes you think of an entire new collection, the easiest way to do is take that piece of paper and absolutely pair it with what you already have. Because I will tell you, this collection, and I'm thinking this is 2014, but I will double check. Let me see. I just want to make sure I'm right, because sometimes I get my years mixed up. Yes, 2014. Okay, so this is 2014. And this is 2019, so 5 years difference, but look, it's the exact same color scheme. And so I have played with this collection A tad, not very much. And so I thought, well, there's no sense building papers for this sampling of supplies for this kit here when I already have an entire collection. So sometimes that will happen. Sometimes you'll get a piece of paper in, especially if it's from the same manufacturer, because they do recycle themes, they do recycle color patterns, and I just, yeah, there's no sense. Look at this. There's no sense. There was a plaid in here. And I thought, oh yes, there's no sense me pulling out anything when I already have it. Yes, so you can do something as simple as that. When you buy these new papers or stickers or embellishment packs, just put them in a baggie, keep them separate, pull them out and play with them every so often as that new supply group. Or you can take a piece of paper and pair it with something you already have. And so this collection is called Poised. In 2014, this was called Classique, I think. Yes. Now here's the difference with Authentique. Okay, so the paper I got today, well, this week, the paper I'm using today, I'll put it that way. This is not textured. It's a nice weight, okay? It's not thin or anything like that, so they got that going on. It's a nice weight. However, it's not textured. All of these papers, textured, 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 okay? Now, that's what it is frustrating to me with Authentique. It's a crapshoot. You never know what you're going to get. The only place I know that does this textured paper, if it's available in textured, is Scrapbook Generations, okay? And so that's the only one I know for sure, because those ladies like Authentique papers too. So I asked Authentique one day, I said, you know, for someone who orders online, I never get to a scrapbook store. How do I know? Because here's my beef. If I'm going to pay $1.09 for a piece of Authentique paper, and that's what Authentique paper is, I foresee them going up to $1.19 next year. I really do. But for Authentique, they're now charging $1.09 for this. This used to be 99 cents, and this was textured. So paying more and getting less. Yeah, we all know that. But I did ask Authentique, how do you know? You're not shopping in a store, how do you know? And it says sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. If they make it in textured, yada, yada, yada. So the easiest way to know that if you're getting and paying for $1.09, that's expensive. I'm sorry, $1.09. And the longer I'm in this journey, the more collection I have. When I'm paying $7 for a die cut pack or $1.09 for a piece of paper, I have to almost stop and think twice a little bit nowadays. You know, money just does not go as far as it used to. Hence the reason why we're doing an SOS series. And every one of you know what I'm talking about. So the best way to do is the person or the company you're ordering from, ask them ahead of time, this single sheet, will that be textured or will it not? You know, yes, it's frustrating, especially when you're paying $1.09, because I will tell you, Cartabella, you pay 99 cents and you're always getting the textured, but you know how I love Cartabella. Yeah, it's absolutely both. This is a beautiful line, okay? And some of you may already have that. So this Classic Beauty by Authentique from 2014, so you don't even have to buy this sheet. Just now, you get refreshed in your mind. You may have this collection. Pull it out. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so that is the simplest one I wanted to show right off the bat, was just pull something that reminds you of, especially if it's in the same manufacturer. Okay, that was probably a little chit chat. Keep on moving. Let's get cracking. Okay, so now pulling out supplies for a very, very narrow color scheme, and this is very narrow. This is black, yellow, gray, and cream. And I will tell you, of a collection like this, I would get bored very, very easy. And you can tell, look how much of this collection I still have. Okay, and so eventually I should know to probably break these apart into my color section, but I'm not there yet. I still want to keep this as a collection. But I will tell you, if I would sat here and I would have pulled out supplies that was this yellow, black, gray, and ivory, it's just not enough for me. So what I suggest in this case is that you pull supplies that have this yellow and black, and if it has another color, then that's all the better. So that's what I wanted to do, because I have not played with this. I mean, it's been 5 years, folks. Let's be honest, I haven't really played with it, so I need to find a new way to play with it. Adding this, that's a start. So what I did was, I was going through my die cuts and I found this pink Paisley set, okay? Now this of course is more mature, sophisticated, but this will add in something different, and it adds in, of course I already have the yellow, I have the black, I have the gray, so now I'm bringing in pink. Well, I thought, okay, well I have these die cuts well, I have this sticker pack, okay? And then I thought, I have pocket cards, these cut-aparts. So I don't know if I have any papers from this. Of course, I got this on Tuesday morning 4 years ago. Oh, yes, this is 5 years old. This is 4 years old. So, look, I haven't even cracked it open. So now, taking these things that I've had, just scattered in my space, okay? Just adding this one piece of paper. Now I'm excited to play with it. So sometimes that one piece of paper, in this case $1.09, was worth it. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. That was probably a little bit of talk, but hey, we're having fun. It doesn't matter. I could listen to someone talk about scrapbooking for 3 hours straight. Yes, I could, because then that gives me longer time to spend in my room. That's what I do. Okay, so let's go to the next one. The next one is going to be an easy fix for when you get a piece of paper that inspires you. Okay, so this was one way. Okay, you see that in this series I'm showing different ways because I like to show options because not everything is one and done. Okay, so this one here is another Authentique paper, and I will tell you I love getting papers that have to do with the kitchen and cooking and things like that. And this is a beautiful piece of paper. This is from the collection Ingredient. Love that name. And also too with Authentique, they have quotes. And of course, they have a Virginia Woolf quote up there. My daughter would love that. Yes, we like Virginia Woolf. So they have quotes on the top of their collections. I think that's a nice touch. I love when companies do a little detail that nobody else does. And of course, that's the back and it has to do with cooking. So in this case, you definitely could just be inspired by this one piece or tell yourself, if I cut this in half, which, you know, you would cut it this way. Well, no, you could cut it that way as well. It depends. You definitely have two pieces of paper for that $1.09. Okay, you have two pieces, two options of that collection. So one of the simplest other things you can do, because this is basically black and white, and I really just was not thinking, what do I want to add this to another collection? So I thought I need to break out of my mold a little bit. So what I did was I pulled a 6x6 paper pad. And so that is now, this was my inspiration piece, but this is going to be my paper. And of course it's Authentique, so that just worked out really well. Now this was from Homestead. I think this was this was 2015. Okay, so that was 4 years ago. I'm really breaking out the old stuff. But you see how just getting something as simple as one piece of paper or one sticker sheet or one die cut pack can just give you that excitement as if you got that whole $15 collection. I love that. Love that. Especially when you're short on space. So what I will do is I will simply play with this color scheme and use a 6x6 paper pad. Okay? And if you like 6x6 paper pads, just hit the notification bell and you will be happy. Yes. Okay. So what I did was I went by this Authentique. Instead of going by this black and white, what else is to go with, I used this as my color scheme because this was my starting point and I haven't even cracked that open. Love that. Love that. Okay. So of course, you know, you have the yellows, the blues, and the off red there. Cranberry red is what I call it. So I found this basic gray barista. Of course, it has it's all about cooking and eating, and we all love things like that. Of course, had that same color of yellow and black. It's going to work perfect. And so then another thing I did was, as I absolutely went and pulled a baking pack of stickers. I think this honestly came from Walmart. I mean, I honestly think so. And so even though these colors are brighter than this, it doesn't matter, because if you was to flip through this, okay, now look at this sticker sheet here on the right. See right there? It doesn't matter. You're going to have some papers in there that's going to match, even though if you look at the front of this pad, these are more subdued and these are brighter colors. There's always something to play with. Okay, so I'll just leaf through for a minute. See, again, something you can pair it up. Pair it up. Pair it up. Oh, this goes really, really good. Okay, now I need to stop doing that because I get excited. Okay, so, and then you can just do sticker packs, and it had, you know, you can basically stick with that theme, okay? Because this is a paper pad in the Homestead Home Kitchen Life. This is a sticker pack. This is a 6x12. And then, of course, I have my burlap bows. I love adding burlap bows in with anything for home and kitchen. Now, I only have like maybe 1 or 2 packs of these, and I have to use them sparsely. So I just cut one from my pack, and I'm going to stick it in this sheet. So what that does is this gives me that representation that I have these to play with, but I don't want to stick that whole pack of 8 in this kit because I only have so many of them, and I like to use them on other pages. So that's how you get out of that because I got asked that question too. What if you put supplies in a kit and you may want them for another layout? The option is to put a representation in, just like I did with that burlap bow, or you make yourself a note, because I have ran into that. And in my case, it was navy thickers. I only have 1 or 2 packs of navy thickers, and I put them in a kit, and one day I wanted them. I was like, well, where are they at? Where are they at? And then it dawned on me I'd put them in a kit, okay? So sometimes you'll see in all these, I don't put thickers anymore because I have them organized in a very fast manner, okay? So I don't do that. So then the other thing I did was I looked for colors in this, that cranberry red, that blue, and that yellow. And so I went ahead and picked more theme. This is by Jelly Bean Soup, Fresh Vegetable Soup, and Irish Farmhouse Soup. These are older lines too. It don't matter to me. 2013. And all these colors do not match. It doesn't matter. Just look for that representation. There's really no green here. But what I find about sticker sheets that you're putting this in is that sometimes you'll put a color in that's not showed on maybe on inspiration piece, but you end up using it in your kit. It's fun how that works. So I just put those in there. And so I'm not going to worry that these are not going to be in my sticker drawer, because I have a lot of stickers. I don't stress over that, except something like navy thickers or my burlap bows. I just put in a representation or a note. Okay, so the next one is, oh my goodness, this was fun. This was fun. This was fun. Okay, yes, let's go to the next one. Breakfast at Tiffany's, babies. That's all I'm going to say. Yes, okay, so the next one is called Glamour. Okay, let's get that piece of paper out. Glamour. Okay, and it's another floral, but you know, that's just the season we're in. But this is a beautiful piece of paper. I guess it would be better if I had it this way. And it's called Glamour. And again, Edgar Allan Poe, there's a quote up there. That is the B-side. Very, very pretty. You could use this on a lot of pieces, a lot of different layouts, I love using script. I think everybody loves script. Okay, so of course you see the color scheme is this Tiffany blue, black, gray, and of course, you know, it feels like silver to me, not gold. Whenever I see gray, I think silver automatically. So I have a couple of different things to show on this kit, because I ran into a couple of different things as I was building this kit, and I thought, oh, I would show that, so maybe it would open up a couple other options when you're building kits. And I want to say something right now. I'm just going to stop for a minute, take a drink, and I'll just hold on. I have something I want to say. There was a couple of people said they didn't really want to watch the videos because they're in a spending freeze, and you know, they didn't want to be tempted. And I said, absolutely. If you feel that you have to, if you watch something like this and you're tempted that you want to buy these exact papers, you want to go shopping, and you definitely are on a tight budget or you're in a spending freeze. Sometimes for me, because I'm in a year-long spending freeze, it depends on my mood. Sometimes I'm in the mood to shop, sometimes I'm not. So I say, yes, don't watch them. Absolutely don't watch them. If something makes you want to buy something, wait till you're further into your spending freeze. But then what the other thing is, just because these are new papers, this is a sampling of supply concept that you can absolutely go to the newer product you have in your space and do the exact same thing. It does not have to be with something that you just bought from Creativation. So keep that in the back of your mind. Or what you can do is challenge yourself and do the flip side of this is go find some older papers and use that as an inspiration and build that kit. So I wanted to say that. So believe me, been there, done that. There are some people when they go to Tuesday morning or this latest Joann sale, of course, I really don't feel like shopping, so I can watch them and enjoy and see what other people are buying, because sometimes I just like to see what people are putting together. Yes, okay. So I took a cue from this Tiffany blue and the silver, and so I just added papers according to that. Now, something I did a little fun with this one was I got into some specialty papers and I got into some embossed papers because I wanted to class this up a little bit. Yes, okay. So of course, you know, look at this starter piece, and then I have some We Are Memory Keepers sheer metallics. These are in hearts, and then this just came from a Hot Buy paper pad. This was a Hot Buy, well no, this came from Hobby Lobby, and then this Tiffany blue, which is basically about the only piece of paper I have. And I want to show you something. This is 2019. This is 2009. 10 years apart. Oh, you want to see the B-side? Oh yes, that was 2009. Remember that pink and brown combination? Yes, so I don't have a lot of Tiffany blue. This was kind of hard to find. So I found that. I was happy with that. And then of course, I put in some black textured wood grain beautiful. And then of course I put in a white embossed. So I didn't have a lot of this Tiffany blue, so I played off of the classy part of this, added the silver, got into some specialty and embossed and foil and vellum paper. So that's another approach when you don't have something. Do different specialty papers. So then I thought to myself, well, this is all I have, and if I use this on one sheet, well, I'm down to basics. So what I did was I found another. This isn't Tiffany blue, but it's still basically the same type of thing. If I take this paper away, a lot of those will still work. That's how you can do a kit when you're limited. Tiffany blue is gorgeous, and I just don't have those colors. I just don't. Okay, so I added that. And then of course, another thing you can do, if I was to take this away, say I use this on one layout, and I have these left, well, what am I going to do? So another thing I did was I added some of these other blues, okay? Because say this is taken away. I can still play with this, even though this isn't the Tiffany blue. I'm not going to use these papers together. I'm not going to use, well, I'll probably use that together. But you see what I'm saying? I wouldn't use those florals together. So when you run into that issue where you just can't match the color, go by... definitely here I use specialty, and then also too just pick something that is similar, because you're not going to use those together. I'm not going to use this with that, and I'm not going to use this with this. So go ahead and add to it, have a little bit of fun. Okay, now I wanted to show something else in this kit, you know, something else. You know, I'm always talking. Okay, let's keep on going. Okay, I wanted to show something. And, you know, because of mood and feel. Okay, so you can definitely see just with this color scheme and this notion of the silver and the gray and the Tiffany blue, it definitely gives you a mood and feel. Yes, absolutely. You wouldn't probably do a layout going to Red Robin. No, you know, this is a different type of mood and feel. Okay, so I wanted to show that I wanted to put a black script paper in here. And so when I was leafing through my black script, which is just in my black rainbow of color, I came across some different ones, and I thought, oh, well, that's not the mood and feel. That's not the mood and feel. So I wanted to show you just simply even the same type of black and white paper, the same type of script. Okay, you can get a different mood and feel. Okay, so this here black is script. Okay, and let's look at in comparison to this Tiffany rose paper. That type of script, well, font, gives you a different mood and feel. Then let's add this one. See how that gives you a different mood and feel. Okay, that's just a white and black piece of paper. See how this one gives you a different mood and feel. And then this one gives you a different mood and feel. Now, and I say this is a personal thing. You could pick any one of those and have fun with them. I picked this one on the top because to me, this one to me was more the mood and feel I want. But guess what I will do? I will put the rest of those in there because I had those other additional papers. Okay, so I wanted to show that something as simple as black and white script paper can reflect different mood and feels. Isn't that interesting? I think so. Okay, and then of course I had a black and white script here, so that I'm adding that as well. Okay, or I'm sorry, black and white stripe. I'm adding that as well. Okay, so now we're going to run into the same problem I just talked about in the last collection. And that is, this is Tiffany blue, black, white, and silver, and this is not enough for me, okay? Even though that's pretty, I could only probably think of one layout that I would do with this, just this limited, narrow color scheme. So I always say add to it. And so I found something that I thought would work, and that is these Prima papers, okay? And so if I took that Tiffany blue away, those papers would all work. Okay, so if you're limited in a certain color, just add another color, make up your own color, okay, or put in the color you want to play with. Okay, so I just love these. These are by Prima. This was from, oh, look at that. Oh, yeah. So again, and how you can determine if it would work. Okay, which ones did I pick them for? Yes, this is that I took away this paper, and I took away this paper, and I put these here. And how I determine, okay, well, let me show you these papers. They may be upside down, but I want to have you look at this right here. If this right here made me excited and wanted to use it, then I put it in my kit. Because just this paper alone, that's not going to be enough for me for this kit. And then also too, I would get tired of a certain specific color scheme. And that's the beauty of a kit, that you have additional colors to play with. But a limited color scheme, I get bored very, very quick on that, okay? So I try not to, when I build a kit, it has a variety of colors. So I hope that wasn't too much. Okay, so what did I add with this? Okay, let me fan these out. I did get to some bits and bobs, yes, because yeah, I'm not going to have any type of sticker packs or die cuts or anything. Of course, I have this hint of pink back here as well. Okay, so what I did was I just picked in those colors. I had a few things maybe looked like Tiffany blue. I don't know, close enough to perfect for me. Added some of that pink for some of those Prima papers. Definitely got out some of that bling, the rhinestone sequins, washi tape, and a book plate, okay? Now I have a lot of these, but this is just a representation that I have metal embellishments to play with, okay? And then also too, I got in some bows and die cuts and anything I thought that had that script. Here's some vellum pieces, and of course, photo corners. You never can go wrong with photo corners. Yes, I would love for a company to come out with photo corners in every color, and then also too with script writing, and then also too with wood grain, and also too with floral. Okay, and you know, I've pitched out ideas to a couple people, so maybe they'll get on the bandwagon. I want some photo corners that are just not basic. I mean, can't you dress it up a little bit, folks? Come on. Okay. And I think photo corners is something that never go out of style. No. And of course, just adding bits and bobs of, you know, this color scheme. So that's just what I did. I just did a bits and bobs this time, okay? And then also too, with that, you don't have to put in the whole kitchen sink, just do a representation. Okay, that's fun. That would be pretty for a wedding, a nice luncheon, something fun, tea party. Very, very fun. Okay, so then the next one was the last one. Oh, yes. If you have some boys in your life, you're going to like the next one. Okay, so the last one for Authentique, and then we'll take a break, is a collection that is more masculine, absolutely wonderful patterns, and it's called Mr. Okay, and I got 2 from that. I'm getting more and more masculine because several years ago I realized that was something I didn't have a lot of. And who wants to use pink and yellow and turquoise every time on a page? So this was called Mr. And so of course this wood grain, love it, love it, love it. But I want to show you the B side. And of course they have quotes on this one. And who do you think they're by? John Wayne. You have to be a man before you can be a gentleman. Yes, you go, John Wayne. And my neighbor has a fascination with John Wayne. You should see the collection of John Wayne. She has like her whole entourage for John Wayne. Oh, too fun. Okay, so the B-side to this is a just beautiful piece of paper. Again, these are $1.09 a piece. You have to keep that in mind. But when you can use this and then this, not too bad. Okay, so then this one had a plaid, but then look on the back, those gears. I mean, those 2 papers are together. You can mix and match. Yes, this was a nice collection, okay? But I don't need the whole thing. But if I wasn't on a spending freeze, I honestly would have. Okay, so I took the colors from these 2 papers here. And then, of course, you know, I just added masculine papers to that. So I wanted to talk about that. And yes, okay, so what I did was I just added these type of papers here, okay, and some of these are by Tim Holtz, but you're going to see more earth tones. You get into the gears, you get into topography, you get into maps, okay, and so I wanted to show what type of papers to look for in your space for masculine, because they may be within other paper pads, they may be in with other collections. So this actually has a feel of leather. I mean, that is just nice. That's some paper pad. And then of course we had this I'm going to call that, oh, what kind of blue is that? Oh, I'm thinking, what is that blue? I can't think of it. But it's that darker, dusty blue, okay? The 90s dusty blue. Okay, so I added some of that blue in there. And, of course, there's maps. You can never go wrong with maps, okay? There's that dusty blue, and there's more maps, dusty blue. And then, of course, I have some that has some icons I can cut apart, or just, you know, cut that in a section right here and use that as a piece. These things right here, if I was to cut all of this down, that makes my mind just go bonkers. I can't deal with a lot of little pieces, which is unusual because I have a hobby. That's all it is all these little pieces. But dealing with all these little ones, I think it's because I think we're saturated with these type of cut aparts. I just can't deal with all of that, okay? So I would cut like a section of this and a section of that, and I would use it as a section, but this has like a sheen and a gloss, and then also 2 license plates, okay? And then, of course, ledger paper. So with those masculine papers, you have to basically seek them out. They're tucked in other paper pads, okay? Unless you buy something with Tim Holtz. Sometimes he'll have paper pads. I think he had one called Dapper. Yes, Dapper. And so definitely. Okay, so this came from a floral paper pad. You see what I'm saying? And that came from some kind of maps. Okay, again, dusty blue maps. Do you want to see the B-side of that? Yeah, okay. But maps and gears and avenues and yeah, for masculine pages. So I really like this. I foresee me using this sooner than later. Yes, look at that. Of course, Father's Day is coming up. Love how that turned out. And so then what I did for this is I pulled out masculine type of embellishment. So, of course, wood grain enamel dots, wood grain sequins. And you notice I just have a sampling of those and brads. Okay, so there's lump and bump. And then also, too, I pulled out my brown box, and I have older supplies in that. So I have this brown cording. And I wanted to ask you ladies, what do you do when you have ribbon that you know is going to fray? If I pulled this, that would pull again. How do you stop that fraying right off the bat before you even use it? Okay. Now I know some people say use a lighter. That would never ever work for me. I'm not getting out a lighter or a match. What would you use? Clear fingernail polish or what? I mean, I think there's a product called Fray something, but I don't want to get that. But see, you see what I'm saying? It's going to keep on pulling and pulling. So how do you do that? Let me know. I guess you could just secure it with washi tape, but I don't know if that's going to stop that fraying. I guess I should ask my mom that question. And then I also got in some word Scrabble pieces. These are actual Scrabble from a game I was going to donate. And I thought, no, I'll throw the board away. And I kept those. That would be fun for a card or a tag, if you're going to hand deliver, of course. And then photo corners, even flowers you can use on masculine pages. Just make them in your darker earth tones, some chipboard. And also, too, don't forget texture. As I showed in that leather, and there's cork. This is burlap, but you could do cork. And then acrylic. This was in brown. This was from KI Memories. Remember those alphas that came in the soup cans? That's what that is. I haven't used it. So I put it in there. So then I also added anything that's metal is perfect for masculine pages. Wood veneer, and I say the bigger the wood veneer, the better. Yes, because, you know, with men, go big or go home. And then also, too, anything, the Polaroid frames, just look at the different texture. Okay, we have a cording, we have cork, we have burlap, we have wood veneer, and then also too we have sequins, we have enamel dots, and you notice that I just got out my brown box and I just pulled out brown elements, and so that is just how I'll start, but I can always add in things later. You know, that's how it works. Okay, so those are the 4 Authentique lines. We're going to take a break, take a breather, and then we'll come back and we're going to talk about 4 KaiserCraft. And yes, we're going to get into more floral, but I'm going to show you some options. Yes. Okay, so hold on. Okay, so now let's talk about KaiserCraft and sampling of supplies and how we can get these beautiful papers, designs on a budget. Now, I have said this before, KaiserCraft papers are not the thinnest, but they're not the thickest, but I consider them a thin paper, but talk about beautiful designs. Yes, and if you love florals, KaiserCraft. I just wish they would make their papers a little thicker, because if you're going to pay 99 cents for a piece of paper, you might as well spend that 99 cents where it is a 2-fold type of paper, meaning you could use it as a background piece as well as a piece of pattern paper. This is not going to be background paper, so that 99 cents for this, I think you could put that 99 cents towards other things. So when you buy KaiserCraft, just know you are going to have to back it for a foundation page. Okay, so this is the collection Paisley Days. Look at those colors. I mean, there's not much to say other than it's beautiful because it has every color that everybody likes, and all in one piece of paper. Now, this is a multicolor piece of paper, and I struggle scrapbooking multicolor, but I have been trying to embrace it over the last couple years. So what I simply did was add to this the colors that is simply represented in the papers. And so I just picked a variety, and some in the turquoise, I picked 2, some in the pink wood grain. Beautiful. Okay, and so there's chevron, black and white stripe, and then just some other papers that have that floral design. You can't go wrong with any of it. And you'll see that some I picked, like in the black, I picked a couple. Turquoise, I picked a couple. Okay, and then of course I picked this Maggie Holmes paper to go with it. Okay, and so when you're working with a multi-piece of paper and you're going with a lot of solids in your kit, you have to tell yourself, okay, well, if I would use this on 1 or 2 pages, what am I going to play with the rest of the time? This isn't enough to play with the rest of the time. So you're almost going to have to add in another multicolor piece of paper, because when I use a piece of multicolor like this to build a kit, and of course you can see I just have the turquoise, the pink, the yellow, the black, the white, and I just keep doing a few more, and I think that's all I have in this one. Yes. Okay, so I tell myself, well, if I use this as a story-based page, or I use it right off the bat, this here is kind of boring to me. So that's why sometimes you have to reinvent the wheel and add a second piece of that multicolor. So if I take away this KaiserCraft, my kit is still workable. So sometimes you have to do that. Okay, and so yes, multicolor, because this is a beautiful piece of paper too. This is Maggie Holmes Gather. We all know that. We all have it. We all love it. Yes. Okay, so what I decided to add with this is, because this is multicolor, I challenge myself to go to my multicolor section in my space, because I struggle with that. So I just picked a few, and I mean, when I say a few, I mean a few. See, I just picked, I'll put them on this pink here. I just picked some multicolor embellishments. So I have some fancy pants, My Mind's Eye, Paper House, and then even some crepe paper. I think these are crepe paper. So that's what I did. I just picked multicolor because I was focused on the multicolor aspect when I built this page. I mean, and again, see? It's totally a sampling, but a variety. I got flare, I got buttons, I got chipboard, I got die cuts. Even have a little embellishment with paper clips. And then also too, only because this was sitting nearby, I just punched some of these flowers. And that was a punch sitting on my desk, and I just used a scrap of white paper. This gives me something else to play with. And then again, that word, representation. I have other punches that are floral designs. I could play with that. So it's a 2-for-1. I have something in there to play with right off the bat when I pull this kit out. But then again, another thing I could do is remind myself I have other punches that are of this flowers and that type of feel, this Paisley Days. Yes. And so then I just pulled a few more embellishments that had to do with the color, and you see what I picked. I picked 3. Only 3. Black stickers, turquoise stickers, and pink stickers. And sometimes when you're building a kit, you don't have to put everything in there. It's totally a sampling of multicolor, a sampling of something of representation, punch shapes, and a sampling of stickers. And then I had this. These are patches. Now, patches is something that's becoming popular again. If you're an 80s kid, patches was the thing at one time. Yes. But patches are coming back, and these already have adhesive. So this is basically just another type of embellishment, and this floral reminded me of that, so I'm sticking that in there. And then my focus product, I'm keeping this in my brain every time I scrapbook, every time I go to build a kit, and every time I go to shop or not shop this year. Focus product for me is journaling cards, and so I'm trying not to buy a single thing of these for the next few years, because I have so much of this. And this color is multicolor. So these are by Paper Studio. It's called Madison Avenue. Love that name. And so you can see multicolor. And so I'm putting that because I do not see this just as a cut apart or a pocket page type of embellishment. To me, this is an embellishment. This is a title. This is a journaling base. And then you can cut things apart, okay, for embellishments. Yes, that is something. And then use your punches. That is something I learned from the fabulous Laura Whitaker. So this to me is just a little bit of everything. And so I'm trying to focus on that in 2019. So that is that kit. Very, very pretty. Of course, I say that all the time, but it is. I love these colors. But then this is a color combination that is popular for a lot of people and a lot of collections. Now, I want to say one more thing about this Paisley Days piece of paper here. The reason I picked this is because when I see something like this, I already can cut it in half. Okay, and I'll show you the back. Okay, I already have that. I'm not going to spend the 99 cents for this. I already have it. The 99 cents is for this, and I would simply cut it in either a horizontal or a vertical and expand that 99 cents, meaning I would use half of this as a piece of pattern paper, and then I would use the other half. So I'd say I'd probably cut I'd probably cut it in half this way, and then I would use these florals and leaves as embellishments. That's how I take something like this, and you know, kind of get your money's worth a little bit longer in that, you know, when you're paying 99 cents for a piece of paper, you do want to stretch it, you do want to use it, but more importantly, you want to play with it. Yes. Okay, so now let's go to the next KaiserCraft and have something a little different to show. You know, always showing options. Always showing options. Okay, so the piece of paper is from the Two Souls, S-O-U-L-S. It is this piece of paper here. Now, with this Two Souls piece of paper, again, this is gorgeous, but lacking. Oh, KaiserCraft, what are you doing to me here? But like I said, it's good for the wallet because, you know, you just can't afford everything. So I'm just glad KaiserCraft don't have thicker paper, because I just tell myself, don't buy paper, okay? But I did for this series because I love these designs. Okay, so this is a 2-for-1, meaning I'm taking this collection, Two Souls, and I'm going to make 2 mini collections. And you can do that with a piece of paper. It doesn't have to be a one-for-all, because this type of paper here, of course, it's floral. That's the season the collections are in. But you can do mood and feel 2 different ways. So I'm excited to show this because this is something I've taught before in the past, and this is how you can take this one piece of paper and you can make it reflect your own style. Okay, so what we're going to do first is I'm going to take this piece of floral paper and I'm going to show you how to take this mood and feel, this beautiful rose, and this paper is called Bridal Boutique, and this collection is a wedding line. I'm not using it for wedding whatsoever. This is the signature piece that I was drawn to first, and also to the signature piece that is out of the theme of what it was intended for. It was intended for wedding. I'm not using it for wedding. Okay, but what I did use it for was something that fits my style, and you can do it in 2 different ways. So for that piece of paper, okay, I have to move something here for a minute. Okay, because, you know, yours truly has piles, again, but they're fun piles, so I'm not going to complain. So what I did was I took the colors, of course, would be the green and that white and that cream. And so what I did was I turned it into something that is like a southern feel. Yes, definitely southern. I love this. Okay, so I got this dark wood green in, again, just from a paper. This came from a masculine paper pad. And then, of course, I have this. It's basically rose gold with text. Love that. And then, of course, this green, which I will tell you, this type of green here is hard for me to find. But guess what that green is? It is a Christmas paper. And so some of my subscribers and I have been talking about that. When you have papers that you're done with a collection, we're a kid and it's just feeling old, it doesn't matter if it's Christmas, Easter, 4th of July. You look at the back side, the B side, and that's where I put that paper. I'm not really crazy about this. I'm basically over and done with this collection. Okay, what year was this? We'll just look. Even though that's pretty, it's just not something I'm inclined to use. 2012. Okay, so when I was done with that, I put this in my green rainbow of colors, and it's perfect because this green is showing up in more and more and more new papers, and it's hard to find. Okay, I don't have a lot of it. Okay, so then I added those colors to it, just simply 3 pieces of paper to this one. Be great for 4-for-4 series. And then my embellishments reflected this southern feel. Yes, down in the south. Yes. Okay, so what I did this time is that I added a pack of thickers. Now, these are not alphas. These are actually words, so you could use them for titles, subtitles, or just part of your story. And I do have these with my thickers, but I have them in a certain category in my thickers. And so even though I store them with my thickers, to me, I consider this an embellishment. Okay, not alphas, okay? But that's just where I put them for easy reference. I have a lot of options, okay? So I took a cue from this rose gold, added that, and then of course, you know, I had to add in some lace. You know, we have that southern feel, and this I think was my it was either my mom's or her mom's, so that's fun. And then just some little bits and bobs. This is some die cut pieces of this ivory, okay? And then what I did was I added some vintage buttons. I got it in my button jar, and I'll show you my button jar, my vintage button jar, or well, just a button jar. I'll show that to you. I have buttons a little place. And that's one thing about supplies. You don't have to find the perfect container for all your buttons. You do not have to find the perfect container for every one of your enamel dots. You do not have to find the perfect container for your journaling cards. It's okay to break things up, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So of course you can see, since this is in this paper by KaiserCraft, they had white and ivory, so I embraced that. I put white and ivory, and since this is Southern, I will definitely use my white and ivory. And then to go with that Southern, I added some of these journaling cards, these cut aparts that have to do with Mayor's Groceries and some kind of grandstand emission back in 1969. Love those little touches. And of course, this definitely, I think this was called binding bias ribbon. I just use it as ribbon. Look how pretty that is. That is my, oh, and I have this other one. That is my Southern. Love that. Using a wedding line, adding in a Christmas paper, adding all this fun stuff, some vintage buttons. I have now something Southern that will totally go with my style. So even though this was wedding, you could use this and turn it into whatever style that you like. And this is just one of my button embellishment jars. I just keep that. It also serves as a decorative piece in my room. Love that. Yes, anytime my mom gives me vintage buttons, of course that jadeite green, my favorite. Yes. Okay, so now I want to show you something a little different. I'm going to show you how I took that same piece of paper and I took that mood and feel to something else. Okay, so I wanted to show this. So excited. I do this sometimes when I have a piece of paper, an inspiration piece, and I'm really like, I don't know which direction to go. Sometimes you go in more than one. So I wanted to show that because everything in our hobby does not have to be one and done. Okay, just because someone else shows it that way doesn't mean that's the rule. That's what we have to do. Okay, so I say let this hobby reflect you and your style and your family. Yes, that's what it's all about. Okay, so I'm going to take the same Two Souls piece of paper and we're going to turn it into two minis. Okay, so the next one, which I love. Now, I love that one, but I love this one too. Okay, so you ready? So what I did, I changed the mood and feel with the same piece of paper, and now I added in. Don't you just love this hobby? You get all excited. Yes. So what I did was I added the same type of things, but now I went farmhouse, baby. Yes, you know that's all the craze when it comes to decor and things like that. So I added different types of pattern paper. My motifs are a little different. Still sticking with that green, of course, but I added in a different type of wood grain, a lighter wood grain, and that black and white buffalo check, which is farmhouse. Okay, so this one piece of paper, I will simply cut this in half, 6 by 12. Okay, and I probably will cut it this way because I'm more of a horizontal gal, and I now have two mini collections using this one piece of paper. Love that. Okay, now that is worth 99 cents. Yes. Now, what is this green paper? Okay, you want to see what the B side of this is? Again, another Christmas paper. Yes. Now, this was Teresa Collins. This is a nice weight. So sometimes this green that's so hard to find right now, you'll find it in your Christmas collections. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so then what I did was I added a pack of farmhouse stickers. I mean, love that. Okay, so then I also just added little bits and bobs, and I mean a sampling. So of course, you know, I had to get the doilies in. So these are Cambridge doilies. Okay, I had to get those in. That's farmhouse. I got in some chalkboard tags, some mason jar wood veneer, just a couple punch shapes floating around from the other kit, and then also some ivory flowers. As you see how the ivory and white is mixed together again. And then a simple roll of wood veneer, looks like farmhouse to me, and then a couple green enamel dots. So that is how I took that two pieces of paper and I turned one into a southern down south type of collection. That's my style. And then also two farmhouse because that's my style. Now what you can do is in your bag when you're organizing this, you can keep those separate, or you can put all of that together and consider it a southern farmhouse. Now isn't that awesome? Love that. I definitely wanted to show that option because when it comes to building kits, there is so many varieties. There's so many ways to show this process. It can go big, it can go small, you can do monochromatic, you can add in 12 colors, you can add in just a couple embellishments, you can add in 10 sticker packs. There's no wrong way to do this hobby. No. Now let's go to the next. Oh, I'm excited to show this one. Okay. KaiserCraft got me excited because I you know, it was all florals, but I took them in different directions. Okay, so with a KaiserCraft, the next piece of paper, it's from Blessed. Okay, beautiful. Of course, the color scheme is right on trend. Okay, the turquoise, the pink, yada yada. Okay, so I wanted to show this as another option because some of my subscribers say they love flowers, but they don't like floral paper. So I thought that was really interesting. So I want to show how you can take something like this. Now this, to me, I could just add in these colors. I would be good to go and I would be very happy. Okay, I'll show you the B-side. Of course, that would go with the previous of that Farmhouse. Okay, now this is basically what they, you know, it's called Blessed. So you can consider this a gratitude or a faith-based type of collection. Okay, gratitude. Anything, you know, anything to be happy about. So what I decided to do was, I wanted to show how you could take this floral and show and put it with something, and the theme of this gratitude type of collection, and change it into something that fits what you want to do. So what do you think I did? I turned it into a beach theme collection. Now, how did I do that? I mean, this is so exciting. Okay, so what I did was I took the colors, but then I went through what I have in my inventory stash collection of items, and I pulled these colors with a reflection of that I wanted to do beach pages. So there, of course, is pink watercolor. Watercolor goes with just about anything. Okay, so then I took this orange. I added some, what is that? We got seashells, whales, anchors, lighthouses. I mean, just, oh yes, come to mama. And then I added, definitely, that is beach related. Okay, and then actual wording that says beach. Each day at the beach is a piece of heaven. Now that's something to be grateful for. Yes, absolutely. Okay, and I'll try to go fast. I get excited. Again, you know, this paper, this water looking paper, and then of course, you know, you got to have wood when it comes to beach pages, and then just this bold fuchsia pink stripe, and then what do I have? And then of course the palm leaves. I already have an idea for this page. Love this. Of course, you know that's adding in that metallic, so that's something you could add for your embellishments. And then what else do I have? Okay, then I have this right here. All of these cut apart, you can use for titles, subtitles, or just cut that in half and use that as a piece of pattern paper. Again, this is beach, oceanfront, beach house, getaway, good times, all using a piece of paper from KaiserCraft from a gratitude floral piece of paper, and then of course just some pink with gold. So that is how I wanted to show that if you don't like florals, not everybody does, it does not have to be a floral type flowery layout. You could take the color scheme and totally change what the manufacturer designed this for. They designed this for gratitude and blessed and all that good stuff. I completely switched gears and I went to beach. Yes, beach, tropical, getaway, good times. That's exactly what this is. Again, using this as my inspiration piece, my starting piece, I took these colors and I pulled themed papers from my beach and summer papers. And some of these came from paper pads. Okay, just look. I mean, look. I totally changed the mood and feel to what I wanted. Of course, you know, I wanted to show something different. So, I mean, I just love this. Look at that. Tell me that doesn't all go together. Yes. Okay, so KaiserCraft, you did a good one on that. I mean, and that, love that. And you can't go wrong with that. Yes, okay. Now, some people struggle with these type of papers here. Okay, and I want to show you that this is definitely a story base. You could take one of these cut aparts, put it up here in the title, or even down here in the trees. Come up here with the story. No photo needed, folks. That is all. That's your design and photo and main embellishment right there on one page. Yes, maybe I'll try to do that over the summer. Okay, as a quick, maybe a mad dash page. Maybe. Okay, so what did I add to this? I just added 3 things. And really, what did I add? Okay, I just love this. Love it. Love it. Can't get enough of it. What I did was I added some KaiserCraft die cuts. Now, same manufacturers, 2 different collections. This is definitely beach related. And so you'll notice that not every color matches here. No worries. It doesn't matter. It all works out in the end. And then I added Pink Fresh. because of the colors. That's all. And of course, this does have to do simple and sweet. That's usually vacation and getaway. So I loved the colors. I thought it went really, really well. And then of course, I added a whole pack of enamel dots because of the colors. Okay. And of course, traveling, geotags, getaway, good times. So I definitely wanted to show that just because a manufacturer wants it one way, in your space and in your albums, you can totally switch it up, baby. You can get fun and get creative. So I took this blessed piece of paper, and what is that called? Oh, gratitude. And I changed it and I flipped it. My mood and feel is now beach getaway. Yes, love how that turned out. I really, really love that. Okay, so now we have one more. It's the last one for this video. Again, another KaiserCraft called Paradise Found. Okay, now I got something else to show with this one. Yes, I do. Yes, only because of my friend Tasha from A Date in My Craft Room. She said something in one of her videos recently. And what did she say? She said, you know, I'm getting a little tired of looking at tropical papers. So I want to show you something because this is a tropical paper. I mean, I just love it. I just love the colors. This is me. Bright, happy, cheerful, and at the, someplace warm. Yes, okay. Now, this is called Paradise Found Collection. This paper is called Tropic Vibes. Okay, the B-side is nothing fantabulous, just a basic tonal and tone. But this, wow, you can do a lot with this. So when Tasha made that comment, I just love watching her channel. Yes, I just adore her. But anyways, she said, I'm getting a little tired of the tropical papers, but I wanted to show something that you can use tropical for, okay? And so I'll show you the papers because I get too excited. And so I just simply took the colors and of this Tropical Vibes, because that's what it's called, and I just simply added paper according to that. Different colors, different scales, and you don't have to worry about if this coral matches, because you see they have 3 different really types of corals, okay? And the turquoises are different, the greens are different, everything's different. And I even got a little wild child here, and I added in a pop of that neon yellow that's showing in the green leaves, okay? More of that, okay? And then I got a little risque, and I added in some of that. Again, cheetah, leopard, I don't know. It's just fun. I just liked it, okay? And then again, more coral. I'm running out of room. More of that teal. And then, what else? Oh, I had a note here. And then more coral. And then I add some gold leaves. And then tropical leaves. And then some map paper. So what I wanted to say about this was, this basically was throwing in everything but the kitchen sink. Yes, this is my kitchen sink collection because this piece of paper inspired me not only for the colors but because of the feel. I think we all want summer. Yes, I think so. That's why we did that. Okay, so what I wanted to show with this is, okay, this one piece of paper, you can add in such a variety of colors, and then also to stay with your mood and feel of the tropics. And you see, this turned into more of a collection. This is starting to get into, well, this is just fun. That's all I'm going to say. I make no apologies for how big or how small my kits are. I just love my supplies. I enjoy my supplies, yes. So what I wanted to say with this is, okay, is that with this piece of paper right here, I don't want to get sidetracked. I have 3 pages of notes. Is that this is definitely tropic feel. But there's something you can do with this type of tropic feel that you may be overlooking in your albums. And you say, well, I don't go to the tropical islands. I don't go to the beach. I have no use for this paper. But I'm sure you do. And what I wanted to show is this. How about, let me get a piece of paper. That is just a white piece of paper. How about military photos? Okay, especially with heritage military photos, because a lot of us have military families, and so also especially with older heritage military families, a lot of our loved ones served, just not in mainland, not just in the United States. So this type of tropical paper, and just look at this right here. If you can, I'll just pull this a little closer. How this vintage photo of my grandpap when he serving in World War II, again 1945, how I can absolutely take this heritage military photo and pair it with a tropical piece of paper. And I love this, okay? I can't talk to him nowadays about this, and of course sometimes it's not polite to ask about military days. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, so I can definitely take this tropical paper, and because I've never really went to any place tropical outside of the United States, I have no plan to, but I can definitely use my family's military, my heritage military papers, photos, and pair it with these papers, and I absolutely love it. I really do. So when it comes to the tropical papers, you do not have to have visit the tropics to use the tropics. Okay, I wanted to show that, and also too with more heritage photos, it don't just have to be military. Okay, this is a picture of my mom and her little one. My mom and her mom. My mom was 8 months old there. Now look at and I'll pull this up for a minute. Look at the background. There is all kinds of foliage and flowers and leaves, and you know, they definitely were not in any tropical region, but I still love using that as just a little bit of something different for heritage photos. And I will tell you, you know, scrapbooking so many years, this is something I held up on for heritage because I wanted the perfect heritage collection. I wanted the perfect earth tones. I wanted the perfect sayings. I got out of that because I'm never going to find that. I have maybe a couple collections, but I'm not an earth tone, dark color type of scrapbooker. So sometimes you have to think, well, how can I make my style fit my story? And in this case, even though I will never probably visit a tropical place as far as outside of Florida, I can use this type of paper for heritage, military, and then also too, any type of background that has this type of foliage. You can use it. There is no, it just opens up another whole world when it comes to these tropical papers. So I definitely wanted to show that because I found Tasha's comment very interesting, because usually that's what we think. That's exactly what we think. I'm not going to visit the tropics. I'm not going to use the tropics. But when it comes to these heritage photos, that just opens up another whole world of supplies, using your tropics for your heritage photos. Love that. Okay, now I got a little talky. Okay, so then also too, I wanted to show that also I just want to show you for real, I have 4 layouts planned with this collection just by pulling these papers together. My grandpap in the military, my mom when she was little, Disney, the Tiki Room, and also to Disney at the Polynesian Resort. Yes, I'm definitely going to have fun with this. So I wanted to show, and I'm going to put these to the side because I don't ever want to lose those, okay? And I do use original heritage photos. Sometimes I'll snap a copy so I have it, but I will basically use the original. So when it comes to supplies like this, I already know that I have one major supply that I could put with this kit, but I can't physically do that. And what would that be? That would be one of my slice design cards. Yes, I'm old school. I still have the slice. Yes. And so it's my slice jungle design card number 16. I went ahead and put my layout ideas on a piece of paper along with this use slice jungle design card number 16. And in video number 5, I'll show you how that I came up with that really quickly. Making a note of that. That's in my kit. I'm done with that. And then I also added just a few embellishments that go along with this. Travel, you know, of course, anything tropical. And then I found these little, these were, I think, found at Walmart back in the days, these little metal embellishments. I mean, just love it. Okay, love it. Okay, so I wanted to show that as another option when you're building a kit. Especially when some of our papers come from a collection that is labeled as a theme. You saw in the previous one that was considered blessed, gratitude. I took it to the beach, yes. And then, of course, this tropical. I'm going to do Disney. I'm going to do my mom's heritage. And I'm also going to get into some military heritage photos as well. So you can take your papers, whatever fits your style. And again, what fits your stories. Yes. Okay, so let's talk about how much did I save and what's coming up in the next video, okay? Because there's only 5 videos in this series, and so I'll just leave this lovely paper here with my lovely family. That's what I'm going to do because I just love this paper. Okay, so what I did was, for these 4 pieces of paper, let me find my notes here so I don't misquote anything, is that I spent $8.32 because Authentique papers are $1.09, okay? And so that was what those 8 papers cost me. Totally happy with that. $8.32. $8.32. I'll take that any day of the week. So then, how much would this have cost me if I would have bought 8 collections? I had to take a drink for a minute. Just look at that pretty paper. Absolutely. It's just pretty. So if I would have bought these 8 collections, okay, I would have spent, well, let's talk about that for a minute. Authentique collections, you know, their paper is more expensive, so that means their collections are expensive. Their collections are $19.99, not the run-of-the-mill $14.99, so consider that. And then also, too, with KaiserCraft, their collection packs are cheaper. They're $10.99, but you only get paper, so you're not even getting embellishments or stickers or anything. So there we have a high-priced collection pack of $19.99. Compared with a low price collection pack of $10.99, but you don't get anything with it, just paper. That's just a paper pack. That's not a collection pack. So if I would have bought these 8 collections, bringing this home, I would have spent $123.92. Yes. So how much did I save? $115.60, and I got way more because KaiserCraft would not have added anything if you would have bought the paper pack. So definitely another savings of $115.60. Eye-opener, baby. Eye-opener. And then also, too, this is what I like. When you're sitting here and you're putting this together according to your style and your stories, the layout ideas just keep popping in your head. So make a note of that. Throw it right in your kit. Now, these photos will not go in the kit, okay? I already have my notes on this piece of paper. Okay, so now what is coming up next in our number 4 SOS series, that video, which that video will be probably a couple weeks from now, because we have National Scrapbook Day coming up, and so that will be on the table for a coming up later on. So we will be talking about six different manufacturers. We have Bo Bunny, Pink Paisley, Crepe Paper, Pink Fresh, Pebbles, and then my absolute favorite, I kept the best for the last, Cartabella, yes. And so we'll be talking about 10 collections. So that may be a long video, but worth the wait. Yes. So that's all I have for today in this SOS series number 3. Definitely I wanted to show some more options, some more different ways to approach building a kit. It's not a one for all. It's not a one and done. You can do it however you want, and then think out of the box a little bit. Just because a manufacturer advertises and markets a piece of paper for a certain theme, you can just break the rules and do your own. Yes, I just love this piece of paper, especially to do some military photos. I love it. I really, really do. Okay, so that's all I have for today. Come back to RTS because you never know what we're going to do. Bye.